Something felt different the moment they appeared in the same space again. Not loud, not dramatic, just different. Because when Dylan Wang and Shen Yue reunited, it wasn't the fairy tale moment fans had replayed in their heads for years. There were no lingering glances caught by accident, no playful teasing that once felt effortless, no obvious warmth that cameras couldn't contain. And that quiet shift, subtle but undeniable, was enough to send the internet into a spiral. This was supposed to be a moment of nostalgia, a reunion that reminded everyone why their chemistry once felt rare. Instead, it left fans with more questions than answers. And tonight, we're talking about why. When Dylan Wang and Shen Yue first shared the screen, their connection felt natural in a way that couldn't be manufactured. It wasn't just romance written into a script. It was timing, comfort, shared awkwardness, shared laughter. Viewers didn't just watch them fall in love on screen. They felt like they were witnessing something honest, which is why, even years later, their names still appear together in comments, edits, and fan theories. Even after separate projects, even after growing careers, even after long silences. So when news broke that they would be appearing at the same event again, expectations skyrocketed. Fans expected a spark. The media expected a headline. Everyone expected something. But what they got was restraint. From a very first moment, observers noticed the distance. Not physical distance, though that was there too, but emotional distance. The kind you only notice when you've seen closeness before. They greeted each other politely, professionally, with smiles that reached the lips but seemed to stop just short of the eyes. Their words were careful, their timing precise. Nothing overlapped, nothing lingered. And suddenly, fans weren't asking, are they together? They were asking, what happened? Social media did what it always does. Clips were slowed down. Screenshots were zoomed in. Body language experts were unofficially summoned in comment sections. Every glance, or lack of one, became evidence. Some fans said it was maturity. Others said it was boundaries. A louder group whispered something else entirely. That this wasn't just two actors moving on. That this was two people avoiding something. Because if there's one thing fans know, it's what Dylan Wang and Shen Yue used to look like together. And this wasn't it. In earlier interviews, they used to interrupt each other without realizing it. Laugh at jokes no one else found funny. Mirror each other's posture unconsciously. Those tiny tells that psychologists say you can't fake. This time, there was none of that. Instead, there was space. Not coldness. Not hostility. Just space. The kind that suggests history. The kind that suggests something once mattered enough to now require caution. Entertainment reporters noticed it too. Questions were carefully worded. Mentions of the past were brief and quickly redirected. Whenever one name came up, the other responded politely but briefly. Too briefly. And that's where the theories began to grow teeth. Some fans believed the reunion was awkward because of unresolved feelings. That seeing each other again stirred emotions neither expected. That distance was a form of self-protection. Others believe it was intentional, a strategy agreed upon long before the cameras rolled. Keep things neutral. Keep things clean. Don't give the internet anything it can twist. Because in today's industry, perception can become a problem faster than truth. Both Dylan Wang and Shen Yue are at critical points in their careers. Big projects, new images, carefully managed narratives. One misinterpreted moment can turn into a headline neither wants. So what if that distance wasn't emotional at all? What if it was professional survival? But fans weren't fully convinced. Because even when people try to hide familiarity, it leaks. In microexpressions. In reactions that happen before logic catches up. And there were moments, blink and you miss it moments, where something slipped through. A shared smile that appeared too quickly. A laugh that sounded too genuine. A pause before answering certain questions. Nothing obvious. Nothing undeniable. Just enough to keep the conversation alive. And that's what made this reunion so unsettling for fans. It didn't confirm anything. It didn't deny anything. It lived in that uncomfortable gray area where stories thrive. Some longtime supporters admitted they felt sad watching it. Not because there was drama, but because there wasn't. because it felt like watching two people who once shared a language now speaking carefully translated sentences. Others found it reassuring, proof that whatever once existed was handled privately, respectfully, without public mess. But the loudest reaction was confusion. Why reunite if you're going to be this distant? Why agree to appear together if you're going to avoid each other emotionally? Why not just lean into nostalgia the way other co-stars do? Unless nostalgia was exactly what they were trying to avoid. There's a theory circulating quietly among fans that the reunion wasn't meant to reopen old chapters. It was meant to close them. A final, neutral appearance that allowed both sides to move forward without unfinished business hanging over them. No grand goodbye. No dramatic declaration. Just professionalism and silence. But silence, as fans know, speaks loudly, especially when it replaces something that used to be warm. Dylan Wang, known for his expressive nature, appeared more reserved than usual. Shen Yue, typically open and bright, seemed more measured, not unhappy, not uncomfortable, just aware of eyes, aware of history, aware of expectations. And maybe that awareness is the real story here. Because when two people once defined an era of on-screen romance, they don't get to meet again as strangers. The audience won't allow it. The past won't allow it. Every smile is analyzed. Every word weighed. Every pause filled with speculation. So perhaps the reunion didn't go as expected because expectations were impossible to meet. Fans wanted magic. The industry wanted control. Dylan Wang and Shen Yue needed balance. And balance often looks boring from the outside. But boring doesn't mean empty. It can mean careful. It can mean protected. It can mean deeply intentional. There's also the possibility no one wants to say out loud that they simply grew apart. That what fans felt so strongly was real in its time. But time moved on. That happens. Even the stories people don't want to end. And sometimes the most honest reunion is one that doesn't pretend nothing changed. Still, the feeling lingers. Something felt different not because something was wrong, but because something had already happened long ago. Whatever Dylan Wang and Shen Yue shared, whether romantic, emotional, or simply the intensity of shared success, it belongs to a chapter that doesn't need rewriting. And maybe this reunion wasn't about rekindling. Maybe it was about acknowledgement, a quiet recognition that what once was mattered enough to now be handled gently. No denial, no confirmation, just respect. And in an industry fueled by noise, that might be the most unexpected outcome of all. Because sometimes the biggest story isn't what people say. It's what they choose not to. And as fans continue to replay that reunion, searching for clues, one